Lord in heaven. Okay. It's really loud in my ear, but there's not much I can do about that one. So. Oh no, I appear to be missing things on my secondary screen. Oh, what a travesty. Where do it go? Oh, it probably doesn't help that I have literally everything in the way. Haha, professionalism. Also known as a complete lack of professionalism. As I am... nope, that's not helping. Oh, what a catastrophe. I cannot seem to configure where... Or is it... Nope, it's nowhere, apparently. But hey! Oh, I might actually need to, be careful that I'm not too loud with this. Again, I can't hear myself in this, but... to showcase a potential turn-based strategy game that I've been running through my head for the last several months. Oh my god, this is so loud in my ears. Anyway, point being, I am showcasing the way that Fire Emblem works, because it is one of 3 turn-based strategy games that I am kind of combining into one monstrosity in my brain. But in order to do that, we don't really need the story for this. We really just need the ability to... Oh, Lord in heaven. There we go. It's actually accepting my controller inputs, so... That's a positive, at least. Apparently, I am being picked up. I'll have to check the VOD on this myself later. Anyway, yeah, they're people doing things. We don't really care. Chances are anybody I show this to is going to be familiar with Fire Emblem. Specifically, this is Sacred Stones, and... oh, I can actually... the way that I normally play this is just... like so. And, provided this isn't, completely fucked from day one, which it very well may be, I'm so used to doing this a specific way, and that actually, for this particular Fire Emblem, only actually works on hard mode. Which is, if you move Erica all the way to the right-hand side and have her attack the guy in the forest, she will pretty much guaranteed crit on the first turn every time. However, that does not mean that she is invulnerable. So, that in mind. Oh no, I don't have the... Oh, sweet Jesus. Okay, so... let's try this again. I think on normal mode, you're technically supposed to be running on a more defensive playstyle. Hence why, the main character girl died in the first combat. But anyway, so yeah, Fire Emblem, turn-based strategy. Select unit, move unit around, attack enemy units. Not a particularly difficult concept, and all of my... oh my god. I swear, if she dies again, I'm just going to fucking load up the file that I'd been working with. Pardon me. Because this is absolutely ridiculous. Okay, so, let's try this a different way. Instead of... there, bam. Just automatically reset. Okay. So, the reason that I had been thinking through Fire Emblem was because it's something everybody is familiar with, and it makes it kind of interesting when you see the other games that are also running through my head with this, because they kind of combine to make a type of game that we haven't really seen quite a while with video games. Fuck, I'll just move him here. So, might as well just, you know, move everybody up. But yeah, like, 1-2 ranged, sword, spear, axe, bow, magic. Y'all know how Fire Emblem works. However, the idea that I had in my head, which I'll be able to showcase more effectively later on, actually, you can meet with him. There's, I pictured these, but in an actual, like, board game? Not like the tabletop board game, but the, like, where you actually have whole-on armies commanded by, like, commander units. So it's like, oh, like, you have this guy, but then instead of him having, like, just all these random turds all over the place, you end up with, like, say, you have a brigand, and then he has, you know, 4 little, like, brigand mook units that are around him. And you can work the game that way instead to make the game a bit more interesting. Of course, you have much bigger maps than this. This is for the Fire Emblem aficionados, because I know you're out there somewhere. Think more like the maps like, God, what was that? Thracia, I believe? I'm not terribly familiar with the games that weren't localized in English, just because I didn't really get into Fire Emblem until, of course, Smash Brothers, like most Westerners. So, it's... Okay, yeah, I know what I'm doing. I know exactly what I'm doing, and that is to not know what I'm doing. But... yeah, healer further up. But yeah, I think it would be really interesting to have full-scale armies instead of just like, oh, you have all of these people with varying degrees of effectiveness, which I'll be able to showcase more in another stream later on. Just because it could be interesting. Like, I mean, these graphics still hold up. This game's 20 years old now. And it's honestly kind of ridiculous that they keep trying to be like, oh, let's do all these, like, fancy pseudo 3D anime graphics with full voice acting and all that, and then you end up with fucking just shit. They're not good, they're not fun, they keep adding a bunch of superfluous mechanics, and it's... we need... like, these are in-depth enough without being a complete... I mean, yeah, these games are easy, but, like, again, to the Fire Emblem aficionados out there, like, they have, like, you can make more complex Fire Emblem games using Fire Emblem 8 as a baseline. They were already trying it with Fire Emblem 8, like how the general has the whatever skill it's called, where they take no damage. And then... oh, I forgot that guy had 1 health left. So... I don't know. Trying to actively explain this and play it at the same time, particularly because I've never played this on, like, the hard mode before. Like, I generally know what units are good and where to put them and all that. But I don't get into the, like, hidden mechanics and all that, because it just absolutely drives me insane that there are hidden mechanics in this. Like, growth rates. Growth rates are absolutely miserable. But more on that later. So we end up with... oh, that's actually really bad. If you run away... Well, at least he didn't get bonked. But yes, Game Boy Advance Fire Emblem graphics are where I was trying to go with this before I ended up completely confusing myself, because I am not the most intelligent of people. As, you know, a bunch of people always try and tell me, oh, you're so smart. Nah, I'm just me. So, you end up with these style of graphics, which, honestly, I don't think Fire Emblem should have ever left. Like, depending on personal preference, you might be like, oh, well, Thracia looks better. I personally don't think so. And that'll probably get me flayed alive while I'm still a complete nobody on the internet. But, hey, that's my opinion. You're entitled to yours, so have fun with that. Honestly, I could probably just end up running all of these games in a single stream, because they're not particularly time-consuming. I'll probably end up doing the kind of base management for game next stream, whenever I end up getting around to that. Just because it's like, oh, everybody knows Fire Emblem, I don't really need to explain that one. But not everybody knows some older games, because not everybody was, you know, a nerd back in the 80s and the 90s. Like, nowadays it's cool to be a nerd, but way back in the way back when, you know, I was but a wee lad, and the Sega Genesis was the cool new thing to do because it had the blood code in Mortal Kombat. That's when, you know, being a nerd would get you picked on in school. Oh, yeah. This is... I'm still in the early game on this. I was just kind of idly playing it one day, but again, it's just, you know, me idly talking to myself, because I'm probably slowly but surely going crazy. And, oops, friends left Ross behind. It's okay, Ross sucks. No, like, legitimately, they... What's the terminology for it? They basically made Ross one of those units where it's like, he starts off absolutely fucking abysmal, and if you don't baby him, he's just going to die, and then they switched it around. That's not the phrase I'm looking for. But they made it to where if you do baby him long enough to where he can actually start to hold his own, he can basically run the entire game by himself, especially if you promote him, because this game has branching, if I could speak English even, promotions. Send item to supply. I'll just go with the sword for now. No. Oh, whoops, I never sold that red gem. Not that it matters too terribly much, but, like, the Pegasus Knights also are, kind of the Ross unit of, like, oh, you have to baby them for them to be good, and I don't know what constitutes good versus bad stats in these games. I know killing your enemies is generally good, and dying is generally bad. Didn't somebody get a door key? Again, this is kind of me talking to myself because I'm slowly but surely going insane. But, like, so this game that I was trying to talk about in the first place before I ended up going off on a huge Fire Emblem tirade was basically, we need Game Boy Advance Fire Emblem graphics just because they look good, they hold up. It's 20 years later, people still use them for ROM hacks, but, you know, I didn't say that out loud. There needs to be a... Why does he still have items? This is how you know I have been kind of trying to speed run this on whatever it was I was attempting to accomplish in the first place. Let's see here. We got... There's not really a good option here, is there? I suppose that'll suffice. Actually, yeah, no. I'm going to keep him with the axe. Because moving everybody else up is asking for trouble. I say as I move everybody else up. Ah, touche, asshole. Also, I've never been particularly good at, you know, trying to sell things, including myself. People are always like, oh, well, blah, 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 job interview. Like, you need to sell yourself and make yourself sound important and special. It's like, I'm just me. Like, that's kind of always been my thought process. I'm just me. Take it or leave it. Like, I don't see the point in trying to lie my way into acting like I'm something I'm not, when I could just as easily... Actually, might have a good idea here. Actually, let's move you here so friends can move up. Let's smack the shit out of this guy, even though he can't do damage worth a damn. Which means that I might need to adjust slightly. Okay, so Naomi needs that kill, but she's not going to get it. So we're just going to have to live with our decisions. So we've got... Okay, he's got literally nothing important. So, if we... Ta-da! Naomi actually got to be useful for once. That leaves... Oh, no, she's got a red gem. That's... So... Actually, that dude having a sword means that... Vanessa can actually be useful, because she, as a lance user, is good against swords. Again, I'm only assuming that people who have actually watched Fire Emblem are actually ever going to see this. Ugh. Ever have those moments? Oops. Again, I absolutely fucking detest Ross. Yeah, there it was. So, I think I know how I want to do this. Wait, no. Oops, that's why I'm hitting the wrong button. Ta-da! Yes, heavy size, because that is the way of the world. Get used to it. Okay. Oops, that was not the button I intended to press, but oh well, shit happens. Point being, ow! Maybe I shouldn't hit my hand on my desk, as a matter of fact. This is what I was trying to get at from the get-go, is Fire Emblem 8, or just kind of the GBA Fire Emblems in general, have perfectly viable graphics that still hold up some 20 years after their initial release. And they would make a great addition to what would ultimately be a combination army turn-based strategy where it's, you know, you get a couple dozen units, for lack of arguing. Base management, where you have to deal with things like food and keeping defenses up and actually maintaining the disposition of the peasantry. But we will get more into those another time with another game. The main thing I wanted to highlight here was, of course, Fire Emblem 8 Game Boy Advance graphics. They look good. They still look good. and they should still be being used, unlike, oh, I don't know, the entirety of this whole waifu emblem situation that has been Fire Emblem for the last decade or more. But anyway, I could go on about that forever. I'm just not going to. So that'll be everything for today, and goodbye.